This was the first wide body that Greenwood built. It was a 1974 C3 Corvette. These cars were monsters on the track. So yeah, this is a car that I've always wanted to build. I tracked down the actual full-size car in a race shop in France, and I was able to get over there and spent 2 days photographing and measuring the full-size car for reference material, and now we're in the midst of building the 12-scale replica of it.
What drives us to build?
Lots of people make gasser models and have fun doing it, but they're not necessarily what would have been legal in 1962. So I followed a rule book all the way, which is totally unnecessary, but it was fun, right?
Where did it start?
How did you get into it? I was probably bored. I was raised in West Scranton, and so you either cut the lawn, you played basketball. We played baseball every day. That was a fact of life.
Little kid, my dad took me to a local hobby shop. First model was a AMT 64 Impala in the Countdown series. I just put it together. I didn't paint it, I put it together, all that stuff. Both my brothers used to do it, and then they stopped, and I kept right on going.
What do we do with it?
Yeah, it started as a kid. It started as a 44 sedan delivery. And it was narrowed, shortened, chopped.
And it's sprayed with as much clear as you could get on there until I got a gloss. And back then there was no polishing kit, no sanding. It just you hoped for the best. And this one, best paint.
You didn't paint it blue, which a lot of people might have done.
I didn't want it blue. I wanted a candy apple red.
Yeah, right, because it's a hot rod.
Exactly.
Right.
And it was sort of like if, say, someone just found one in a barn and then maybe it was kind of beat up and they said, oh, well, we're just going to do something cool with it. So.
Why do we share it? So much of what we do, we're at the bench. It's so solitary. One person, it's your ideas, you're pulling from, full-size cars and what you saw in a magazine and some kind of crazy color palette you're putting together, and you're working all alone. But when you get out with other people and you start talking about what you've done, you realize they're doing the same thing, or they did it a different way.
Because we were all closet modelers there for a while. Yeah. If you didn't know somebody that built a model, you kind of kept it to yourself. And then the phone call I got from Bruce Clemens to say, hey, why don't you come and join our club or take a look at it? I'm like, there's other people that do this? Do I really want to do this? The models are just a way of getting people together. Because I spend more time talking to people now than I do looking at the models.
Yeah. This is the first model that I built and took to the MPC contest. New York City, Manhattan. Went to the Coliseum. And if you had a model car, you got in for free because you were an exhibitor. You'd open your box, and then they would go, ooh, look at that. So you can go. And you went up these big escalators up to the second floor, and that's where the MPC booth was.
And this was in conjunction with a full-size car show.
Oh, yeah. It was the International Show Car Association. And at the end of the 70s, when the MPC contest ended, they still wanted to get together and do something with model cars. And it was friendship as much as the modeling. And that's how the NNL began.
I've been building models since I was 6 years old. That satisfaction of creating something, of holding something in your hands that is a reflection of the world, never left me. I've been a club member, attended events, judged contests. I've written and photographed for full-scale and model car magazines. And I've built a few models. I appreciate the friends I've made along the way. I've come to realize it's not about the models. It's about the community. It's about the modelers and their stories. The friendships and respect, the encouragement and sharing of techniques, the artistry and imagination. Every model has a story. Every modeler has many stories. My name is Doug Whyte, and I want to record those stories. I want to preserve the history of this great community. I want to honor the builders and the designers that create the world of model car building. I want to discover what inspires us, and I want to share that muse with you. Why? Because this community is incredibly uplifting. We come together to share our love of the artistry of the automobile and other modes of transportation. I've made lifelong friends in this community. Some of the greatest discussions I've had with modelers were the ones during the trips on the way to and from the model shows, let alone the great times we had at the shows themselves. I've never met a modeler who thinks they're the best. We all appreciate the skills of the next person. When we get together, there's always encouragement. When another modeler shares something, we try it. Part of what it's all about is trying new stuff. We appreciate every modeler's effort and imagination. We respect the legacy of the work done by modelers who are no longer with us. I want to know where our ideas come from. What inspires our next build? Or what inspires us to put the lid back on the box and start something new? What is the inspiration? What is everyone's muse? This has been a long time coming. I've been wanting to do this for years. What made this finally happen was the announcement that the 40th NNL in Toledo would be the last. This was going to be a historic event, the last of one of my favorite model car shows. There would be great models, of course, but what a chance to talk with people I hadn't seen in years. I had to go. But this time I would bring my team. So, my videographer's son and producer wife and I drove the 10 hours out to Toledo. It was a great weekend. We recorded interviews and we realized we wanted to continue doing this back east. When we returned home, we thought, what is the best way to share these and upcoming videos with you? So, we created Model Car Muse. Explore with me the mysteries behind the models. We'll be looking at the inspirations and influences, the history and legends, artistry and techniques. And with your help, the website will have resources, a club's directory, and a calendar of events, so you never miss an opportunity to connect with fellow modelers. Okay, what's in the staging lane? There are the interviews we did at the 40th NNL, of course. And a big thanks to all those who gave us their time and wisdom. The history of the NNL itself is a great story. What the name means, how it started a global movement and changed the culture of model shows. We will be telling that story on video as well. And we had a visit to the shop of the legendary Rick Hanmore. We plan to get to more events like the next NNL East and GSL, and we will be reaching out to modelers for interviews. Join me in celebrating this amazing community. Be sure to like this video to encourage others to check us out. And if you click the bell icon after hitting subscribe, you will be notified when we upload a new video. Follow your muse wherever you may find it, and may you always have a project on your bench. Thanks for watching.